This is a relentless game, turning life's chaos into power. This is a relentless game, I've been up grinding 10,000 hours. This is a relentless game.
Relentless game, turning life's chaos into power. Got Coach Christian here, Seth Humphrey. Today we're going to speak a little bit about identity and how we change the identity. And so we have something that inside the Guerrilla Alliance that I've been working on for the past couple of months called the breakout loop. And it's just our identity and the way you view things. I talk to guys on a daily basis. You see it. It goes buzz on your phone too, inside of DMs. And there's so many stories and beliefs that they have about themselves, about what's happened to them, these problems, these issues, that it becomes your identity. That it starts to become the way things are. This is just how things are. And so what I want to break down today is, let's look at and let's break down the problems that when our identity is in a negative place. But then also let's look at the peak. Let's look at the possibilities when we start to change that identity and how to do that. And then we'll give you the path on how we can help you break that and go from there. But the biggest problem is, and I was talking, I'd use this as an example the other day. I was working with a client online, and like, this is a perfect example for it I mentioned stopping drinking, and it was just one of those things. Was just like with anything, like with clients that are getting into shape, like the first thing that we want to do is stop putting diesel in a gas tank and then wondering, because it impacts your sleep, it impacts you taking in empty calories. There's just a lot of negatives to it. And so it's not saying that you can never have a drink again, but we're just like, if you're trying to drop a 70 to 100 pounds, then like, we need to start making some decisions that are just like pretty evident. It's pretty evident. Like, hey, you know what? If you want to drop 70 to 80 pounds, then this is probably a version of you that we need to, not necessarily kill off, but we need to definitely part from him for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And this guy's identity was in bourbon. So like, he was a bourbon collector. He had invested, there's no telling how much money in this collection of bourbon. He talked about when people came over and they would come over to his house, and like, that's what him and the guys would do is they decide a bourbon that they want to have, go out by the fire and smoke a cigar, which is great. If that's something that you value, but with it long term being able to get results, I just knew it was something we need to really look at, because my name's on your results. If you don't get results, you're going to go like, hey dude, I did everything you told me to do and you didn't tell me this. So I mentioned the bourbon. Hey, probably needs to be something that I'm always going to be a bourbon drinker. I'm never quitting bourbon. Okay. So this guy's identity was, I'm a bourbon drinker. So understand that immediately his stories and his behaviors and his that he has is like, hey, I'm a bourbon drinker and I always will be a bourbon drinker. I'm not going to I've invested there's lots of money in a bourbon, and this is how it's going to be. So that's his story and his belief. Guiding to right after your stories and beliefs, your actions are then determined from your stories and beliefs. So if you look at yourself and you believe I'm a bourbon drinker, then what are you probably going to do?
You're going to drink bourbon.
you're probably going to have a bourbon.
Yeah.
When life gets hard, when there's and I don't know about you, but I feel like I have all kinds of problems and issues that are always thrown at me. And so like, if I always had a problem, an issue that was thrown at me, and immediately I got to have a bourbon at night to kind of let myself cut loose and relax, then it's going to impact everything else. It's going to impact my sleep the next day. It's going to impact how I feel. And so that's the action, is like, okay, well, I'm a bourbon drinker, story and belief, bourbon drinker, going to drink bourbon. Results are, I don't get good sleep. I don't drop weight like I could drop weight, because my body's trying to get over this diesel in the gas tank. And understand that when you have alcohol, like on Saturday, it takes like all the way till Thursday to fully get out of your system and your body starts running regular again. Thursdays are usually those times at the end of the week. And it used to be for me where by the time Thursday had come around, I was just so tired, so stressed out, running businesses, things like that. But that's when my stories and behaviors would be like the pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to have some pizza. Then I eat pizza. Then whenever I eat pizza, my patterns and behaviors was I got to have pizza. That's a story and belief I had. The action would be me getting pizza. And in every single time I would have pizza, it would trigger something in me of saying, you've already screwed your nutrition up. You might as well just go all in. And then I would eat ice cream or whatever else until Monday and just ruin my results. So what we're trying to do is understand that when with your stories and your beliefs are the biggest piece of, like, we've got a question. How we question that is our stack. So we can get in the stack. We have a system inside of our Warrior app where we can get in the stack. It helps us question stories. It reframes the stories and the beliefs that we have so we can see something different and we can choose a different action. But a lot of guys don't have that. And so that's what the biggest insight and the biggest thing that I wanted to get across today is just to understand that, like, if you never question those stories and beliefs, understand it's going to be really, really difficult for you to be able to change your actions and change your results long term. Do you want to have any things you want to say there?
Definitely. You can't change unless you confess. And that's where the stack is a huge thing, because there might be something that, say you come into our program and you just met me and Seth, and essentially you're going to trust us and see that we're doing it out of love and care, but you might not want to tell us everything at first. You get into the stack's going to pull things out of you that you might not want to tell another man, but you are speaking it, you are texting it into that. And because of that, you're confessing it. Once you confess it, then you can start to analyze it and go, man, this is a piece of me that does have a hold of me. Like, this is something that if I don't change, I'm not going to be able to get the results I want. And so I think it's that the confession is that next step. And then once you can confess, that weight starts to come off of you. And once that weight starts to come off of you, you feel like, okay, like that's the first hard piece that I was able to get past. Now what can I do next to kill off this version? And then that's where you start to utilize the resources around you. Okay, what do I need to do to change? What's the actions that I need to take from there? But it starts with that confession.
And that's with anything. The first piece of the program is quit lying. Like, just tell the truth with what you just said right there. Once you tell the truth, you shine a light on it. It, like you said, might not feel comfortable talking to other guys about it then, but you could put it down into the stack. And what we talk about, so we get it out of our head, and once we speak it out or type it out or whatever, now it's on like a balcony view, meaning that now it's on this lower level that you're overseeing it, and you can start to see the directional pieces that and the direction that you need to go and the things that you need to change from there. So now, as Christ followers, and you hear this, like, our identity is in Christ. So, like, hey, this is who I am. I'm a Christ follower. My identity is there. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, okay, so how do we reverse engineer this? But how do we make this happen to where our identities in Christ, but we're starting to change our actions and their stories and behaviors to change our beliefs. And so we have something we do. We have something called the Bible Stack. It's something I run every Tuesday. I'll run it tonight at 6:15 p.m. Is the Relentless Faith Bible Experience, and the framework with that is we're going to stop what we're doing. We're going to get in the Word. Not going to read chapters and chapters. We're going to read. We're going to get in the Word. We're going to find some wisdom from what we're reading, and then we're going to apply that wisdom. We're going to feel some type of conviction of what we're reading, and then we are going to apply. Either we're going to start something, stop something, or sustain something. It's pretty quick, pretty easy. And then you immediately see, and you have this conviction. It could be the Holy Spirit is guiding you of what needs to happen. Now you have your different action that you start to take from. So now we're getting in the Word. Remember, we're reverse engineering this. What we started at is you have your identity at the top. This is my identity. My identity is created by my stories and beliefs. My stories and beliefs dictate my actions. My actions dictate my results. So then we look at it and we go, okay, well, here's my results. Now I'm going to get in the word. I'm going to do a Bible stack. I'm going to find something I need to start, stop, or sustain from getting in the word. That's where I'm going to start taking actions from. I'm going to immediately start taking actions from what I'm reading. And now my actions start to change. And once my actions start to change, now my stories and my beliefs start to change. And when my stories and beliefs start to change, then I can change my identity. And then that's the big piece of it is just imagine, like, if you're a Christian, like you want to get in the word, you know it's something you need to do on a daily basis anyway, or you need to invest some time and energy in it. Well, then now it's like, okay, well, this is what I do. I get in the word, I find action that I need to take from it. Now I'm starting to change my behaviors and my patterns, and I've changed my identity, the way I view things. And then there's going to be something else. So it never changes. You're always going to have something that you're a result that you don't like. And it's crazy how it works, man. It's like I get in the Bible stack today, and it was been one of those things where it's been, I can use all kinds of excuses or reasons, but I was struggling with the intentionality of just getting in the word and just going. And we've all get there. I mean, it might be your man period that you might be, that you just go through a drift or whatever, where it's just like, so you just fall off for a little bit. Go ahead. Were you going to say something there?
Nah.
Well, you get into like this place of like, that you're not in the place that you want to, there's something needs to change there, but you're just falling into this pattern of behavior of just doing that, going through the motions and stuff. And today I was just like, I got up at 5. I took 10 minutes. I meditated in prayer, and I was just like, hey, when I get into this, like when I get in the word today, like give me something that I actually need, like point me in a direction. And I get in, and it's Exodus 33, verse 8, and it's Moses, and he was taking the Israelites, and he's trying to lead them out of Egypt, and he's trying to lead them to the promised land, right? And God has just gotten mad at the Israelites because of the golden calf. They're bowing down to this golden calf. They're praising this golden calf, and so God's pissed. And he's like, hey, I might not be with you anymore. Yeah. Like I'm probably I could leave you behind, and you stiff necked. Like that's why the words, I could leave you guys behind. Well, the Israelites are watching, and they're watching Moses, and Moses would take his tent, and he would go outside of the tent. He wasn't in the circle where everybody's at. He went outside, and he would go in, and every time he would go, you could see, I think they said that there's like this, when God would show up and meet with Moses, there was like this like steam or something around the tent. I don't know, but they knew that God was present. The point of that is like, you could talk and tell people all day what they need to do, but as a leader, they're going to watch your actions. And so they were watching Moses' actions. He didn't know if God was going to be with him. He'd messed up, and he knows that he's not leading like he needed to, but he continued to show up and consult with God and ask God for direction and say, hey, don't leave us. I can't do this by myself. And the Israelites were able to watch that. And what they would do is when he would enter that tent, they saw that God was there, they would praise and they would worship. And so for me, it was just like, hey, bro, like, how are you going to be the leader and tell people what they need to do? You got our young men and it's not like it's been 3 months or 4 months. It's been like a struggle like the last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I get back into it and get back to doing what I know I need to.
Changes, and you see the power that it gives you for the day. You see the focus, and the Bible stack has changed my life. And it's because, like you talked about, we're not reading a full chapter. We're not reading all this stuff that we're not going to retain. If I read a full chapter, especially some of those longer chapters, I'm going to remember maybe one verse.
Well, the Bible's got so much wisdom in it that like if you're taking,
overload.
Yeah, it's like ordering a big old sandwich with all these meats and stuff. You're never going to be able to take all. It's like, I just only need a quarter of this. It's like all I could take in. So why would I order a big, long 90-foot sandwich? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why it's easy to get you back on track and get you motivated to get in the word again, because you see how your day is different. Like this morning, I got in Psalm 3, verse 1 through 8, and it was, God, you're my protector. There's 10,000 enemies around me, and I know that you've got me. Like that. Like, man, how can you read that first thing in the morning and feel powerless? How can you read that and not feel motivated to go out and attack the things that you need to do? And man, that was a great word for me this morning, because I've got, you know me, man, I can coach clients all day and do all this, but like, you know, meeting with clients, sitting down with them, talking finances and stuff, that's not something that I always look forward to. It's not necessarily my thing, but I've got a lot of meetings this week. I've got some people that I got to schedule and chat with. And then I heard that word from God, and I'm like, man, God's got me. Like, I'm in the right place. I'm doing this out of a place of love. And so with that, like, got some clients taken care of this morning with confidence. It just changes the way that you show up. And that's what the Bible Stack's done for me, is it's given me so much power, wisdom, courage, all of the attributes of the Lord. And that's how you find your identity in Christ, is by getting into the word, finding action to take, and then checking your heart posture when you get into the word too. Why am I getting into the word? Am I looking to get something out of this, or am I looking to find who God is, find the wisdom through God, and then build attributes around who he is? And it changes your life. It changes who you are at your heart. You just view things differently. So
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, your actions and your beliefs start to, like, then you walk into the day and your actions, beliefs start to change. Then you meet with those individuals and they take action, and they're going to get results long term for those actions that they took. And so your stories and beliefs are just like, what changes with you is like, well, if I don't sell these individuals into the program, then I'm doing them a disservice. Right.
yeah.
And so it's the same way with anything that we're trying to do. Is that's the only thing that's holding you back, man, is like your stories and your beliefs that you're telling. Like, if you don't ever tap into like why you believe the things you believe and the stories you tell yourself, then your actions are never going to change and your results are never going to change.
Yeah.
And the big piece of that was God gave me exactly what I needed at that time. It wasn't one of those things where it was speaking in numbers and there was just all this other, and it's like didn't vibe with what I was going through at all. It was exactly what I needed to be like, hey man, you're a leader. Like you've got to not only talk it, but you got to walk it. And that's something that, like, in every other area of my life and with the in faith as well, that's something I lean into more, because I know that people are watching me. So it's one of those things where it's like, nobody knows, like nobody, and none of the guys in the Girl Alliance knew that I was like, this is something had just battling with or whatever. But once I'm able to just lay it down and submit and just say like, hey, this is a struggle I'm dealing with and I need some guidance and some direction, then I've got the path. And then guess what? Now there's momentum. Now I'm excited again. Cause like it's exciting for me. It's exciting to get in the word and knowing that there's going to find something that I need to work on and get better. This is the same way what used to be with my wife. When she would trigger me, she would say something to me and I would get pissed and I would get mad and I'd want to fight back and say something. But I just started slowing things down and biting my tongue and not reacting. And I started every morning, the next morning I would go and I would do it, and it wasn't like every day that my wife was doing that, but we got wives that are very strong willed.
I was thinking of an example right now.
And so it was like very strong willed. And so I just immediately, instead of getting like angry and saying something back, I would just take note. And like, I would legit go in my notes on my phone and be like, stack over this tomorrow over my wife. And the cool thing is we got the Bible stack. Also got rage stacks, anger stacks, irritation stacks, appreciation stacks, grateful stacks, prayer stack, every emotion. And so what I would do is I'd go in and I would just judge my wife. Things I would never say to her face because I don't really believe it. But there was things that you want to call them at times. You want to say like, this stupid blah, 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 blah. You dump, da, 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 whatever it was. And I would just let it out. And every time I would do it, it reverses it back on. What's your side, Seth? What are you doing? You're saying this. Is there any truth that you could be doing the same thing? And every time I would find something that goes like, man, when she said that, she was right. It was something that I would be able to look back at and go, okay, so what's the action you're going to take? I need to go to my wife and apologize to her and tell her she was right on this or whatever. And dude, I've had to do that so many stinking times. It's so frustrating that how many times I could go back to her and go, you're right.
Yeah.
But it saves a lot of time and energy that I'll never get back. And I don't want to argue with my wife's my best friend. Like I don't want to argue with her. And so that's the big piece, guys, is like with anything that you take out of this today, the lesson is pretty simple when we look at it. I don't really have a lesson. I'm going to come up with it just immediately from here. But if you never question your stories and your beliefs, you're never going to change your results long term. You're going to stay stuck in the box that you're in. That's pretty good for not having anything. You're going to stay stuck in the box that you're in, and you're never going to see what God actually has for you. But when you can go and you can just question those stories and beliefs, and you start to put it, and you're being honest about it, and you just drop some truth into that box, it blows that box up. And then the next thing you know, you got another box that you're in. But the cool thing is you got a bigger box, and you got a bigger box, you got more room. And guess what? It's going to happen again where you're going to grow so much that box is going to be too small for you. And then you're going to have to do it again, and you're going to have to break it again. But if we do this over and over again, and we use it by the power of God, by getting in the word and using that to help drive us and put us in the directional places that we need to be, then everything changes. So,
Yeah, man, I believe that, us as guys, we've got an ego problem. We think that raising our hand or we think that confessing and saying something makes us weak. But I promise you, the devil attacks men the most in isolation. But just like Seth said, these stories and these beliefs that are in your head, you will never win that war in your mind on your own. If you're not getting in the word, if you're not having a brotherhood, if you're not having a system, if you don't have these other things and you're just keeping it up here, you will never win that battle. The devil will win that battle 10 times out of 10. And so just having all these resources that the Guerrilla Alliance has, that having a brotherhood has, that's what's going to allow you to get over that hump and get out of your head and start to become the man that God's called you to be.
yeah. So the Guerrilla Alliance is a 6-month brotherhood of men who are done just managing it. They're done just being this one-dimensional version. They're opened up to that God has more for them, and they know it. And here's the deal, bro. The reason why you're so stressed out and you struggle so much is you're causing yourself more stress. It's stuff that you know you need to do and you're not doing it. It's like the day I had a guy hit me up that wants to drop 200 pounds, but they also don't want to make any kind of investment to drop 200 pounds. So he looks at it as like, oh, I don't want to spend this money on a coach and do this and this and have to spend this money on it. And he came up with a number in his head that he thought the price was going to be. That's keeping him stuck. Like his stories and beliefs were, it's thousands of dollars and I can't afford it. Bro, we hadn't even talked. Like, I don't know nothing about you. And so when you start to understand that, and you get around other guys and you start to just work on yourself, not just in your body, but we start to also invest in those relationships with God and the man that you're being, start to invest in that relationship with your wife and your kids, start to invest in the relationship with your career and your business and what it is that you want. That's ultimately what we get to is, yeah, we start with the body. We start taking control of that. We start changing the identity. But then we get to a place of now I'm ready to build. Yeah. Now I'm there. Now I'm ready to build. And this is where the game starts to get fun is we have our impossible game where we start to build out and we start to cast a vision of the man that you're trying to become in each of those areas. And we put a game plan together with the guerrilla method to put that into play. And so I'd love to get you in that. Maybe it's not something that you're ready for that yet. The Relentless Faith Bible Experience. It's that's every Tuesday at 6:15 p.m. Central Time. We can get you in that. That's free. But that now it's getting some movement and you're actually taking some type of action, regardless if you're reaching out to me and messaging me Guerrilla Method or you're messaging me Relentless Faith. You're taking some type of action, and that action will then slowly start to change your story because now you're proving to yourself, hey, I'm an action taker. I'm taking some type of, I know I have a problem and I'm taking some type of action from it instead of that causing the own stress. And the own stress is knowing that you need to do something, and then not doing it. So like it causes this rub. But when you know, like, it's hard I can't there's no rubbing when I'm going both of them in the same direction. But if you don't ever stop and question the beliefs and the stories, and you just stay right where you are and you know, but you're not doing, that's where the problem is. That's where the stress is. And that's why you're stay right where you are and staying stuck. So I'd love to help you. Christian, love to help you any way we can. It's as simple as you can find me at seth.p.humphrey. You can shoot me a message with Guerrilla Method. You can also shoot me a message with Relentless Faith, and I'll point you in the right direction. You can go to my bio, and you can find both of those as well.
You can find me at boo_train6. Anything fitness, nutrition, they'll guide you there.
So for Coach Christian, Seth Humphrey here, we appreciate you. Have a great day, and look forward to seeing you on the other side.
This is a relentless game, turning like chaos into power. This is a relentless game.